Hello, my crafty friends. It's Andrea from Prairie Sky Paper Crafts, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba. Today, we are going to have some fun with blending brushes. Now, these are clean. They're just really well loved and well used. We're going to create a scenic background today. And I'm going to be using the On the Horizon stamp set. So I'll be using the grass, possibly maybe the trees, the birds, and one of the sentiments. So let's get right into it. I've got an Old Olive base, and the colors that I'm going to be using for the sky are Tahitian Tide and Pacific Point. I've got Old Olive, and I'm just going to grab the Mossy Meadow as well for the grass. I'm using a standard card mat, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which I will probably trim down depending on how our inking goes. So to clean these guys, all I used was some soap, gentle soap, and running water, and brush or wash them really, really well, and then flip them upside down to dry so that the water doesn't pool where the glue for the bristles is. We're just going to do a quick little rub and quick side-to-side motion. You can do circles, you can do side-to-side, really whatever makes you happy. Now, because this is going to be grass, I'm okay with a little bit of texture, but you can just keep rubbing and rubbing until your ink is blended out. I'm just going to do a little bit more side-to-side, kind of do a little sweeping motions here and there. Okay, so that's it for the Old Olive. I'm going to close that and set it aside. And then Mossy Meadow, we're just going to kind of brush just to build up a little bit of interest and dimension. All right, and blend. You could also add a little bit of water to get the ink flowing here. All right, there we go. I'm going to call that done. And then Tahitian Tide. I like to do my lightest ink first, and then I'm not too terribly, let's put this one over here so I don't accidentally grab the green and put it in my blue. I like to do the lighter ink first because then it's not such a big deal if you go ahead and get a little bit of ink onto your darker ink pad. Flip it over. Maybe I'll just stick with Tahitian Tide. I kind of like how this is looking. No, maybe it needs to be a little darker. I'm going to blend right down into the grass as well. Ink blending can be a ton of fun. You can build up the depth of color as much as you want, and then call it done when you're happy with what you've got. Okay, now this, I'm just going to start off my cardstock and then just kind of bring it down a little. There, I think that's good for the sky. Oops. Stick it over here so that it doesn't interfere with anything else. All right, now let's get our stamps going. So we're going to do the grass in the foreground, a couple of stamps of the birds in the sky. I'm going to do the trees, which I haven't used yet. And then, you know what? I think we're going to create a Thinking of You card. All right. Memento Black, because I kind of want everything to be in a little bit of a silhouette. We're going to do our grass first. I'm going to stamp it as low as I can get. I think we're going to do it twice, just to get the entire bottom covered. There we go. We'll do our tree line next. So we're going to kind of make it look a little bit 3D. So instead of stamping straight in black, I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp our little forest a couple of times. It's a little lighter than I had intended. Yeah, twice I think is good. Gonna do our birds in the sky. We're gonna have them go right off the page here. And then this actually looked like the sky at my house yesterday. We had so many seagulls flying over. You know what? We're actually going to do a tag. I'm just going to do a thin strip of old olive. 1/2 inch I think should do it. 1/2 inch. Let's err on the side of caution and do 3/4 inch. Bring your trimmer back, and we're just going to trim there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Actually, I'm going to grab some ribbon. Trim this down to 4 inches, but because I've got the darker on the ends of my cardstock, I'm just going to trim 1/8 inch off of all 4 sides. Got a tiny little scrap of the Sahara sand ribbon that I had left over from a card that I did recently. So I've been really trying to use my cardstock scraps as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this guy up on dimensionals. One, two, three, four. One for each corner. Oops. And then I'm going to have a little tag of cardstock sticking out. So I'm going to put my, oops, image layer on first. And aim for, you know, as usual, center-ish. And we're going to put our Thinking of You tag right to the edge of our cardstock here. Actually, that's what we're going to do. I was going to stick it at the end, but I think Take Your Pick is awesome for prying off little pieces. I'm going to put this in sort of like a V shape behind. And because I don't have a huge piece. I'm not going to use that one, it's empty. I was going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. I'll just use a little bit of extra regular Stampin' Seal. Let's stick this guy down. And I'm going to do a little line on this side of our ribbon and then pull it up to stick it to itself. World's smallest scissors. Get rid of that little string. Now we need to bling it up a little bit. So let's do some of the in color dots. You know what? We're going to use the Tahitian Tide. And I think we're going to use the smallest ones. One. We're just going to go in a bit of an arc above our ribbon. So there you have it. If you haven't tried blending ink with the blending brushes, I would encourage you to open the door to creativity and give it a try and see if you like it. They're incredibly soft and so incredibly easy to use and maintain. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am always happy to help. If you're in Canada and would like to shop with me, please visit my store. It's linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you soon.